Part of Thursday night's presentation will be eyewitness testimony, meaning the nation will hear from people who were at the Capitol that fateful day. We are joined now by U.S. Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn, who testified before the committee last summer and was one of those eyewitnesses on January 6th. Officer Dunn, it's great to see you. We understand that you've recounted what happened to you that day in full to the committee. Could you give the audience a thumbnail sketch of your experience and how it's impacted your life since?
You know, being able to testify before the committee and share my experiences of that day, it was my story about what I went through. And one thing that gets lost a lot, a lot of people have been saying, they don't paint the picture of my story as everything that happened. There are hundreds of officers there that day who went through traumatic, unbelievable experiences. And thankfully on Thursday, we'll be able to hear from another officer who was testifying. But since the experience of testifying, I have become more and more vested in the investigation. We're seeing everything that's unfolding. The committee asked us on our testimony if there was anything that we wanted to make sure that they did. And one of my requests was them to get to the bottom of what happened, why it happened, and to show that we can never have this happen again. So every single leak or piece of information that comes out, that has come out so far, I've been all over it and just following this, not just, like I said, not just as a person who was there defending the Capitol that day, but somebody who was an American citizen who doesn't want to see what happened to our country that day happen ever again. So.
And for the audience's benefit, I just want to ask you a real simple question. How are you doing?
Thanks for that. Thank you for caring to ask that. I'm doing all right. I'm very anxious about these hearings coming up, and not necessarily in a good way or a bad way. But it's like I said, it's something that I've been wanting since the day that it happened. So I'm anxious to see what the committee has learned, and anxious to see what they have planned to make sure that this doesn't happen again. But I'm doing all right. I'm healing a lot. And even though this is bringing back memories and seeing all the footage and it's triggering, but I am not one to suppress how I feel. But at this moment, I'm doing all right, though. So thank you.
Sure. And you talked about what you asked the committee, and others who testified did as well. Get to the bottom of this. And I want to run by you a recent NBC poll with numbers in it showing that just 45% of Americans surveyed say Donald Trump, the former president, is solely or mainly, those were the two keywords, responsible for the rioters who overtook the Capitol, compared to 55% who say the former president is only somewhat or not really responsible. After all you've learned, after all you've been through, how would you assess former president's role in setting all of this in motion?
So I don't want to necessarily give. That's the thing with these polls. Like that's literally just people's opinion, and
right.
I'm a very matter-of-fact person, and I believe that that's why this committee is so very important, because it's getting down to the facts, and it's not anybody's opinion. And, I don't want to give my opinion about, what I went through when the facts are clear enough about what happened that day. However, if it turns out through the investigation that it was the former president's responsibility and he needs to be held accountable, not just him, but any single person who had anything to do with the failures of that day need to be held accountable. And I'm hoping that the committee will start the process towards accountability and healing as a nation. So,
Officer Dunn, you might have heard this. I've certainly heard this in my conversations with Republicans. We all know what happened. We don't need a big hearing. We don't need primetime presentation. We all know what happened. We saw it. I'd like your reaction to that orientation, number one. And number two, the next question I asked them is, but do we know why it happened? And they're not as responsive when I put that question to them. Taking those two on board, what do you hope these hearings will accomplish?
Well, I don't even necessarily know if that, to answer the first question that you asked, they said they already know what happened. Do they? because we were told that it was legitimate political discourse. And even just as recent as today, you had an NFL coach call it a dust up. Do people really know what happened? If I feel like if you're categorizing it as those two things, or they just got out of hand, if you're categorizing it as that, then you have no clue what happened. And if you have no clue what happened, it's clear that you don't want to know what happened, or you're just flat out lying about what happened. Because there's no way somebody of a rationally functional thinking person would categorize that day as one of those two things. So I don't necessarily think that if somebody is using that term to describe that day, then they don't know what happened.
And do you hope the committee, through this process, gets closer to the why?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, well, why and how? Like, every question this was unprecedented, so every single question needs to be asked. Every question needs to be asked to prevent it from happening again, whether that has to do with police preparedness or inciting from lawmakers or, anybody, or it could be anybody, but we need to figure out how do we prevent this from happening, no matter who it was,
Officer Dunn, I've been on Capitol Hill as a reporter off and on since 1990. I know many U.S. Capitol police officers. I have a sense of how you're going to answer this question, but I want you to do it in your own words. When you were defending the Capitol that day, in your heart, in your spirit, what were you defending?
Each other. Immediately, it was just the person right to the left and to the right of me, my coworkers. And if you look broadly at it, our mission is to defend Congress. But at that moment, you're fighting for the person next to you. And that's all it was at that moment. That's what it was about, protecting my brothers and sisters in blue next to me. And our mission as a whole is to defend Congress and the staff. And, our mission was fulfilled because not one congressman or woman or senator or staffer was hurt that day. And the election was certified, so they were able to do their congressional duty. So while it wasn't pretty at all, the mission of the Capitol Police was successful. There was a few hiccups, so to speak, in the middle of the road, but we did our job, and we did it for each other, and we did it for this country because it's our duty to protect democracy. So.
And I also know from many Capitol Hill police officers, staffers, members come and go, but the institution and what it represents lingers. I imagine that was also something you were defending.
That's important too. So, a lot of people can disagree with a person who is in a seat, whether it be a Senate seat, a congressional seat, the presidency. Those seats come and go. There will be many more members and presidents, and way after we're done here. But it won't exist if we don't protect what we have. So that's why it's so important to protect what we have in this country, and that's our democracy. So.
And learn more about why on that fateful day all of it was under siege. U.S. Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me on. You have a great day.
You too.